Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome you all to the 20th session of Indic Knowledge Landscape and Overview. We are almost at the end of the course now, dealing with the UPANGAS. Among the 4 UPANGAS, we have covered Nyaya Vistaraha. We discussed Nyaya Sutras of Gautama, Vaisheshika Darshana of Kanada, Sankhya Darshana of Kapila, and Yoga Darshana of Patanjali. And among the Mimamsa Sutras, we have tried to understand the way Purva Mimamsa is handled by Rishi Jaimini. As you all can see here, Pramanas are essential to understand any of these darshanas. And if Nyaya accepts Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, and Shabda, Vaisheshika accepts Pratyaksha and Anumana. Sankhya accepts Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. Yoga also accepts Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. And regarding Purva Mimamsa, we see that Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Shabda, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, all these pramanas are accepted in Purva Mimamsa. And in Uttara Mimamsa, actually it is given that all these pramanas are accepted. But if we look at Rishi Vyasa's Brahma Sutras, he has mainly accepted the Pratyaksha and Shabda. That's what we see actually. Let us discuss how Vyasa Rishi has handled the Brahma Sutras. And the word Uttara means subsequent or later. Mimamsa, we have in our previous sessions, we have discussed about Mimamsa. It's a systematic investigation or examination. So Uttara Mimamsa means examination of the later portions of the Vedas, you can say. Purva Mimamsa deals with the Karma Kanda aspects, the Samhita, Brahmana, and Aranyaka. They are discussed in Purva Mimamsa. Uttara Mimamsa deals with Upanishad part. Then the Upanishads are also called as Vedanta. This we have discussed in our initial classes. They are called Vedanta because they are containing the essence of the Vedas. The Vedanta Sutras are also called Brahma Sutras or Sharirika Sutras. Sharira is body, Sharirika, that which is embodied. If Jaimini brings out the essence of Karma Kanda by showing the importance of yajnas, by showing the importance of dharma enjoined by the Vedas, and the rewards attached with the performance of different yajnas, Uttara Mimamsa gives us the essence of Upanishads by talking about the philosophical, theological views to be observed. Thus, together, both Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa help us to understand the Vedas as a whole. When we look at the sutras, Brahma Sutras of Rishi Vyasa, the sutras, there are 555 sutras, and they are divided into 4 chapters, 4 adhyayas, like the way it was done, it is done by Patanjali in Yoga Sutras. The first chapter is Samanvayadhyaya, second chapter is Avirodhadhyaya, third is Sadhanadhyaya, and fourth one is Phaladhyaya. The first adhyaya, Samanvayadhyaya, contains around 134 sutras. And again, here also we have this structure of padas. 4 padas are there, and number of sutras is total number of sutras is 555. Again, we have different adhikaranas. If we look at the UTTARAMIMAMSA, there also we have different adhikaranas. Then, what is the first adhyaya talking about? It is Samanvaya Adhyaya. And here, this we have to know. If we look at the sutras, later on, the acharyas who wrote commentary for these Brahma Sutras, according to each of these acharyas, the number of adhikaranas is different. If Brahma Sutras are 555 according to Shankaracharya, according to Ramanujacharya, it is 545. For Madhvacharya, it is 564. Then Nimbarkacharya, it is 541. And Vallabhacharya, it is 550. Adhikaranas also, according to Shankaracharya, it is 192. Ramanujacharya, it is 156. Madhvacharya is 223. Nimbarkacharya is 162. Vallabhacharya, 162. This so happened because some of the sutras, they tried to break it and to make the people understand better. They divided the sutras, thus the number of sutras increased in each the other acharyas systems. Now, coming to the Samanvaya Adhyaya. What is Samanvaya? It is the reconciliation. What kind of reconciliation? It is the reconciliation in Parabrahma. Then the second Adhyaya, Avirodha, it establishes that there is no Virodha. There is no Virodha is opposition, conflict. So there is no Virodha, Avirodha between Vedanta and other Shastras. Then the third Adhyaya, Sadhanadhyaya, it teaches the means of attaining Brahman. Phaladhyaya talks about the fruits of the efforts, fruits one can accrue with the efforts taken in this direction. Then, when somebody wants to establish his theory, he has to do it systematically. So that involves several adhikaranas. Adhikaranas are topics or propositions, you can say. So this adhikarana involves 5 parts. So, Vishayaha, there is a shloka here, Vishayo Vishayaschaiva, Purvapakshas Tathottaraha, Sangatischeti Panchangam, Prachaha Adhikaranam Viduhu. So, adhikarana, how is an adhikarana developed? So, there should be a topic which needs to be discussed. Today, we are discussing about Brahma Sutras. So, that is the topic of discussion. Vishayah, Vishayashchaiva. So, Vishaya is the second Vishaya is there are doubts regarding the topic we are going to discuss. So, that is Samshaya. The doubt or Samshaya is called Vishaya. Then there will be Purva Paksha, the person who doesn't want to accept this. He will be having his own arguments, and then we will be trying to prove with proper pramanas and right conclusion would be arrived at. That is called Uttara Paksha or Siddhanta. And Sangati. So both the parties agree. Okay, this is the way it is. Right conclusion. So this Sangati also is of various types. Saprasanga, Upodghata, Hetuta, Avasaraha, Nirvahakaha, like that. Then if we look at all the darshanas we have till now seen.
May I interrupt you, ma'am? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So the last slide basically is to guide the scholars, if I use the word, for the structure that should be followed in this shastras and adhikaranas. Is it a structure that is listed here?
Yes, 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 it is. It is very much important. If
No,
somebody
so it is
wants
important.
to, if somebody wants to present his ideas,
Point of view.
So he should follow all these things.
So it's a structure that is essential to be followed to present your hypothesis, then whatever doubts are there, and the opposite arguments, and so on.
Yes.
So is it?
Yes.
And come to a conclusion.
When there is nobody to oppose or raise objection, you yourself can put maybe this kind of doubts may arise.
So finally, I mean, what it is saying that in case somebody has to reach an agreement, these are the steps to follow after accommodating everybody's point of view. Something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So when we go to the first sutras of each of these darshanas, can anybody tell me what is the first sutra of Nyaya Darshana? Okay. So nobody remembers, huh? Anyhow. Pramana, Prameya, Samshaya, Prayojana, Drishtanta, Siddhanta, Avayava, Tarka, Nirnaya, Vada, Jalpa, Vitanda, Hetva, Bhasa, Chala, Jati, Nigraha, Sthananam, Tattvajnanat, Nishreyasa, Adhigamaha. So what is this Nyaya Darshana about? There are how many padarthas are there here?
16 padarthas.
16 padarthas are there. So, Rishi Gautama is saying to attain Tattvajnana, one needs to understand all these 16 padarthas. Then, what does Vaisheshika Darshana say? First sutra. What is the first sutra of Vaisheshika Darshana?
Dharma Vyakyasyamaha.
Excellent. Athato dharmam vyakyasyamaha. So, Rishi Kanada is saying, let us discuss about dharma. Then, Sankhya. What is the first sutra of Sankhya Darshana? अथ त्रिविध दुःखात्यन्त निवृत्तिः अत्यंत पुरुषार्थः. So in Sankhya Darshana, Rishi Kapila is saying Trividha Dukkha, removal of Dukkha Atyanta Nivrittihi, Atyanta Purusharthaha. So ultimate aim is to remove the miseries arising out of this Trividha Dukkha. Yoga Darshana, what is the first sutra? Atha Yoganuशासनम्.
Atha Yoganuशासनम्.
So
I thought it was Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha.
So let us discuss about yoga. Purva Mimamsa, what is the first sutra? It is Athato Dharma Jijnasa. So finally, when we come to UTTARAMIMAMSA, Rishi Vyasa says Athato Brahma Jijnasa. So can you see any difference in the approach of all these rishis? Excepting for Yoga Darshana, all the others, they were trying to overcome the miseries of worldly activities. Miseries arising out of worldly activities. In Yoga, Rishi Patanjali in Yoga Darshana, he has given a beautiful description of how to attain Samadhi. And when we come to UTTARAMIMAMSA, Rishi Vyasa clearly says, Athato Brahma Jijnasa. So here, let us now discuss at the about the Brahma Jijnasa. So now, therefore, the enquiry into the Brahman. And after what are we supposed to start our Brahma Jijnasa? It is after the attainment of certain minimum qualifications. What are they? There are these Nitya Vastu Vivekaha and Ihamutra Phala Bhoga Viragaha. All these things are discussed in some class. I don't remember now. Shamadamadi Sadhana Sampat. Then Mumukshutva. So one needs to practice some amount of stability without involving himself in too much of worldly affairs. So Nitya Vastu Vivekaha, that is knowledge about the eternal and non-eternal things or activities. Then Ihamutra Phalabhoga Viragaha, indifference to the enjoyment in this life or in heaven. Then Shamadamadi Sadhana Sampat, there Shama is controlling the mind, Dhamma is controlling the external senses. There is an Uparati, cessation from worldly engagements. Then Titiksha, that is endurance of pleasure, pain, heat, cold, and all those things. Then there is Shraddha and Samadhana, faith in the Guru and Upanishad. Then Mumukshutva is the desire for liberation. So one should have that desire. Here, I recall a shloka from by Adi Shankaracharya. Durlabham Trayam etat devanugraha hetukam manusyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samashrayah. So, what does this shloka say? Durlabham trayam. Etat trayam durlabham. These three things are very difficult. Devanugraha hetukam. So, it is possible only with Devanugraha. Without the divine help, divine support, it is not possible to get all these things. What are they? Manushyatvam, birth as a human being. Mumukshutvam, interest in liberation. Then the third one is Mahapurusha Samashrayah. If you get the birth as a human being, you may not have the interest in liberation. If you are born as a human being, you have the interest in liberation, then also if there is no proper guide, it is not possible to get liberation. So all the three coming together to a person is very rare. Astu? This Brahma Jignasa, Jna is the dhatu, root here. Jna avabodhane. So Jna, to understand or to gain knowledge. Then there is one Sannanta Prayoga. Jignasa. Kartumicha chikirsha. If you want the desire to do something is chikirsha. Desire to eat will be bubhuksha. Desire to drink is pipasa. Same way, jnatum ichha jignasa. So here he says Brahma Jignasa is the most important topic of consideration once certain prerequisites are met. Now, who is this Brahman? What are his attributes? Rishi Vyasa says, Janmadyasya yataha. This is the second chapter, second adhikarana, first sutra. Janmadyasya yataha. Here, Janmadi, origin and other things. Asya, of this world. Yataha, from which. So, this Parabrahma or Paratattva, which is eternally pure, wise, free, is the only cause, and it is the final resort of this world. He is the originator, preserver, and also the absorber of this vast world. He is omnipotent and also omniscient. So, here Rishi Vyasa tries to prove that once this Jignasa, who can be a Jignasu, is established, he comes to the creation aspect. Who has done, who is this Brahman, how he has done, all those discussions will come. So atoms cannot do this creation. Pradhana or Prakriti cannot do it. On its own, these cannot happen. Therefore, there must be a Brahman. And Brahman must have attributes, and also the knowledge of Brahman can be attained through reflection on its attributes. And how do we arrive at the knowledge? It is through Shruti Vakya. Shruti is Veda Vakya. It is the direct experience of the rishis, and it proves to be a strong point to be accepted as Pramanas. So he quotes many Vedic verses from Upanishads and all those things. And he says, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat pratyabhisamvishanti, tad vijignyasasva, tad brahmeti. Then one cannot depend on intellect or reasoning, because a man of strong intellect can always overthrow the person who is weak in intellect. So, and also Brahman is beyond the reach of the senses and intellect. And father is asking his son to meditate on that Brahman, Parabrahman, Tad Brahmeti, Tad Vijignyasasva. Again and again he is saying. Then that from which these beings are born, that by which these live, that into which they enter at death, try to know that. That is Brahman. And Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So the Brahman is realizable only through the Shrutis. So he has proved that it is possible to reach Brahman through Shrutis only. And he also says, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Keep on listening to his attributes from the Shrutis. Keep on manana, reflecting on what is heard by you, and then nididhyasana. Keep on doing profound meditation helps in reaching him. When the root cause of all our ignorance is removed, the Parabrahma reveals itself, which is self-luminous. It is called Swayam Prakashaha. Then, if we go to the next adhikarana, that is Shastra Yonitva Adhikarana. Here, till now we have established that Brahman is the cause of this world. And we have to now infer that Brahman is omniscient. So what happens if we look at the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad? There it says, Sa yatha ardraindhagner abhyahitat prathak dhuma vinischarantyevam va asya mahato bhutasya. So this mantra, it is saying, from fire kindled with wet fuel, ardra indhana, various kinds of smoke comes out. Same way, Vedas, Rik, Yajus, Sama, Atharvangi, Rasa, Itihasa, Purana, Upanishad, Shlokaha, Sutra, Anuvyakyana, Vyakhyana are all like the breath of this infinite reality. From this Supreme Self are all these breathed forth. That's what is the about this mantra. Then here there is one word, Vidya is given. So what is this Vidya? So Kathopanishad has an opening mantra which talks of Vidya. Tatra akhyayiko vidyaha stutyartha. So Adi Shankara gives one explanation for this. As everybody knows that Kathopanishad is the story of Nachiketa going to Yamadharmaraja and their conversation involving a discussion on life after death and all those things. Here, according to Shankara, it is an akhyayika only. Akhyayika is an account of the past, aimed at eulogizing, you can say. So there is certain entity in the Veda that is called as Itihasa or Vidya or Purana, like that. Here, one more, actually, one shloka I remember, long back we studied. There is a collection of shloka by one Bhatta Narayan, Stava Chintamani. So there, one of the shlokas says, Nirupadana Sambhara. Nirupadana Sambharam Bhittaveva Tanvate Jagatchitram Namastasmai Kalash Laghyaya Shuline. So he is talking about Ishvara creating something out. There is no wall or no screen or any support where he can do artwork. But without anything, he is able to create. So I do namaskara to that Shambhu, Shuli. So that kind of ability God has. That is what is proven in all Shastras, all Puranas, everything. Then the next adhikarana is Tattu Samanvayat. So here, on account of agreement or harmony, and because it is the main purpose, so all the Vedantic texts refer to Brahman only. So he says Tattu Samanvayat. Here, when construing a passage according to 6 characteristics, it will be Upakramopasamhara. Oh, it is not there. Huh? Oh, I think it is. Okay. There are 6 parts while construing a passage. What are they? Upakrama, Upasamhara, Abhyasa, Apurvata, Phalam, Arthavada, Upapatti. So what happens? Upakrama. You should give an introduction, what you are going to discuss about. Now, if we are discussing about Brahma Jignasa, so we have to first give an introduction as to what is Brahma Jignasa. Upasamhara, there should be a proper conclusion about the topic we are discussing. Then Abhyasa, while discussing, we keep referring to it at the main point again and again so that everybody gets used to it. Then Apurvata, there is a novelty, there is uniqueness to what we are discussing. Then Phalam, there is a certain result which is going to be accrued because of the discussion or action or whatever. Then there is Arthavada, glorification. Then Arthavada can be a statement of an actual incident or event of the past also. Then there is Upapatti, with the logic, with logical reasoning, the Tatparya Nirnaya or the real purport of any work is arrived at. Then, if we look at Chandogya Upanishad, there is a statement in 6th chapter. It states, Sadeva Somyedamagra Asid Ekameva Dvitiyam. So, this world was the Sat, real in the beginning. This is the, then there is a concluding statement which states, in it all that exists has its self. It is true, it is the self and all those things. These 2 statements are the Upakrama and Upasamhara. Then if we look at Uddalaka repeating the statement Tattvamasi, Tattvam Asi to his student Shvetaketu several times, this is Abhyasa. Again and again that repetition is done. Then Brahman is unique, doubtless, infinite, secondless, there is none equal to Brahman. When this knowledge is attained, it becomes the phala or fruit of the efforts. Thus, we should understand that the attainment of heaven, procuring a son, etc., are all taught in the Vedas as incentives to acquire Brahmajnana, so that the faith in man becomes deeper. All these activities, what we do every day, puja, doing puja, every day, frequently going to temples and doing some homas and yajnas, they are all done with some something in mind to get some benefit out of them. So when man sees the results of such material benefits, his faith in and interest in Vedas grows, and he gradually develops a yearning for liberation. Yajnas performed without selfish motives purify the heart and aid in Brahmajnana. So, Karma Kanda itself can be considered as a part of Brahmajnana because it is the stepping stone, you can say, baby steps towards liberation or God realization, whatever you want to call it. And then the Vedantic texts declare the wise who knows the Atman as bodiless within the bodies, unchanging among changing things, as great and omnipresent, he does not grieve. So here Mundaka Upanishad says, Divyohi Amurta Purushaha Saha Bahyabhyantaro Ajah hi Ajaha Apranaha hi Atmanaha Shubhraha hi Aksharat Paratah Paraha. So he is without breath, without mind. Then he is the purest. Also, then he is the self-luminous and formless Purusha, uncreated and existing both within and without. He is devoid of prana, mind, pure. He is pure and high. He is higher than the supreme, imperishable. Then this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also talks about a discussion between Rishi Yajnavalkya and King Janaka. So here what happens, Sava Yesha Etasmin Samprasade Ratva Charitva Drishtva. So here what happens, Raja Janaka is asking Yajnavalkya to narrate to him the path of liberation. So Yajnavalkya says, a person during his sleep experiences various dreams dreams in which activities are performed with his relatives, with his friends, with his neighbors, or some unknown people, whatever. But still, when he gets up, whatever he experienced in the dreams, they may not even be remembered by him. So he is not bound by those dreams. Same way, without getting entangled in the material life is the way out. That is what is this mantra saying. Then If we look at this, yes, if we look at this table, this table is depicting all the topics discussed in Samanvayadhyaya. Not all the topics, some of the topics. So you can go through this when you have time in detail. Then Samanvayadhyaya deals with the theory of Brahman as the central reality. Then different Vedic statements are taken to substantiate the argument. Then Avirodhadhyaya talks about nature of the world on God, nature of the soul, its attributes, etc. Sadhanadhyaya discusses various means of attaining Brahmajnana. Phaladhyaya talks about the results of walking the path of Brahmavidya. Then Rishi Vyasa takes only Shruti and Smriti into consideration for validation. Shruti is Upanishad, Smriti is Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Manusmriti, and all such things. Then Rishi Vyasa acts only according to the conformity with Vedas. There is a clarity on who is Brahman, and he says Pradhana is not Brahman. And devotion and meditation are of utmost importance according to him. And God creates without any implements. Here is the, I told that shloka. So God doesn't need anything, any object to create something. He can do it on without any implement, actually. Then Rishi Vyasa talks about Brahman only and the dharmas, the law, whatever, purity, omniscient, omnipotent, whatever you want to call, all those things. And then he also talks about Jivan Mukti, liberation. So before Vedavyasa, there were many philosophical thinkers, and most of it is lost to us because of so many reasons. Badari, Audulomi were the most important. And following the Brahma Sutras of Rishi Vyasa, many acharyas came up with their own interpretations. And those acharyas' works are also lost. But from the period of Adi Shankara, we have Advaita philosophy, where he says Aham Brahmasmi is the way forward for everybody. Then came Bhaskaracharya with Bheda system, followed by Nathamuni, Yamunacharya, and Ramanuja, who gave us Vishishtadvaita system. And Rishi Bodhayana's extensive commentary on both Purva and Uttaramimamsa has been referred to extensively by the Vishishtadvaita Acharyas. And about Madhvacharya, he developed the Dvaita system, dualism. It was somewhere around 12th century. Bhakti is the only path to get out of the cycle of birth and death and reach Narayana. Then Nimbarka system talks about Dvaita, Dvaita. And if we look at Shankaracharya, Shankaracharya's Brahman, he categorizes Brahman into Para and Apara. Apara is the Jivatma, and Ramanuja talks about Chitta Achit Ishvara. And all these acharyas, they all considered Brahma Sutras, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita as Prasthanatrayi. They are the most important sources to walk the path of Brahman. Then, one more point is these four Athato Brahma Jignasa Janmadhyasya Yataha Shastra Yonitvat and Tattu Samanvayat. These are called Chatussutri, most important sutras. So all the acharyas have their own interpretations. When we look at Ramanuja's commentary on Brahma Sutras, it is said initially he wrote this Shri Bhashya. But what happened when he presented it to the people, they were unable to grasp the essence. So he made it a little easier and came up with Vedanta Deepa. And that also was quite difficult to understand. And so he composed Vedanta Sara. That is what is the story we hear about Ramanuja. And one more story I wanted to share with you about Shankaracharya. When he went to Kumarila Bhatta to learn about the Brahma Tattva, that time Kumarila Bhatta, he was sitting in a pile of paddy. The pile of paddy was burning slowly, and Shankara was aghast. What is this? Why are you like this? So Kumarila Bhatta said, I am atoning myself for doing Guru Droha. I cheated my teacher. So how did that happen? When Kumarila Bhatta was being, when he was having debates with Buddhists, he was not able to understand the nuances of Buddhism. So what he did, he approached a guru and took up Buddhism actually. He converted to Buddhism. He learned the intricate details of Buddhism and again converted back to and defeated the Buddhists in his debates. Then he said, now that I have established my, I have been able to establish my statement, anyhow, I need to do prayaschitta for what I have done to my guru. I cheated him, so I am sitting here to burn myself. So that kind of dharma values they had. Though he wanted to save Hinduism, he didn't lose on the path of dharma. That kind of great teachers we had in our tradition. And our references have been so many. You can all go through these links and read in detail about all these systems and acharyas and all those things. So, any questions?
Yes, ma'am. The story you just narrated, what I couldn't understand, what crime did he commit? Because he tried to learn something which he wasn't aware of, let's say Buddhism. And he had to put his point of view to win, or I don't know what is the appropriate word, to maybe put across Hinduism better. So unless he learns the arguments, which he can win over the Buddhists, he will not be able to achieve that. So learning a new thing like Buddhism to counter the arguments of the opposite party, how is it a dharma?
No, no. See, when he could have, if you say, I want to learn the nuances, that is okay. But he said, I am converting to your system and I believe in this and all those things. And he had to practice Buddhism also. Otherwise, how would the teacher accept? Isn't it? So that is a way of cheating.
I don't know what to call it. I mean, this is going to other extreme because to my mind, if you are trying to be honest to yourself and you want to save your dharma by learning a sub branch, actually Buddhism is nothing, it's not Islam. So Buddhism is also part of Hinduism in a way. It's a different method of reaching God, let's say. Putting across little more rigid principles of living in Buddhism.
Yeah.
So how is it? Maybe I'm sorry, I'm stretching the argument. I don't know the answer because to me it doesn't sound. Unless you study the other party, you will not be able to counter the arguments.
Yes. But definitely that he must have felt something.
Yeah, he must have, of course. He must have. I'm too small a fry to comment on what he was doing, but yeah, it belies my logic.
Yeah, because they were all, dharma was the topmost dharma was the of utmost importance for all these teachers. So they could not go even a little bit away from dharma.
That's why in Gita, no, I mean, sorry, in Mahabharata, not Gita, Krishnji was asked, no, you could have stopped the war where millions died. You are a god. So how couldn't you stop the war? So he had to teach them how to achieve dharma, how to establish dharma. So he says this is a small sacrifice to do that.
Mahodaye, so this when you narrated this story, I actually recalled. Am I audible? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I recalled this Dr. S.L. Bhairappa's novel Sartha. So Sartha, in which he actually gives a context, and so where Kumari Valla Bhatta, like how he stays, he becomes one among them, and how he stays with the Buddhist scholars and the students, and then because just so that he can learn the nuances of the religion, and then then he is overcome with guilt, as you mentioned, because he has done the Guru Droha. And then then he plans to self-immolate himself, right? And when Sri Adi Shankaracharya approaches him, he would be in that state. So when you narrated this story, I kind of went back. So there actually Dr. S.L. Bhairappa, after a lot of research, he has actually that novel has been written, and he has given a context as to why that Kumari Valla Bhatta, he was overcome with guilt and what happened and all. So that was a very beautiful novel. So just now when you were discussing this, I kind of remembered.
Actually, can you kindly share the name of this book by S.L. Bhairappa?
Yeah, this is
in Kannada.
It is in Kannada, but I'm sure it is translated to English also. Sartha is in Kannada. Maybe it's like Caravan or something, I'm not sure. But Sartha is the novel in Kannada.
Sartha, okay.
Yeah, Sartha. Yeah, Dr. S.L. Bhairappa, of course, he does lot of research and then only he writes something. But then I like this particular novel of his.
No, thanks for bringing up. There's another book I read from Dr. S.L. Bhairappa, which is translated from Kannada into English. It's called The Wheel, Avarn.
Avarna, the veil. Yeah. That's also beautiful.
So I read that. I mean, it's wonderful the way.
No, actually, this novel is set in this, when Buddhism was, widely prevalent in our country in the 6th century or whatever. I think its novel is set in during that period of time. So yeah. I mean,
and for your question, Buddhism is also a branch of Hinduism. That is okay. But what happened? People started losing faith in Hindu, these Vedic scriptures. So that's why Adi Shankara had these teachers like Kumarila Bhatta, Prabhakara, they had to stop people from going away from the Vedas.
Oh.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, that
So
can be.
he practiced he burned himself in that paddy because it burns very slowly. That kind of torture, that way he tortured himself, but we don't know why he so much of an extreme measure he had to take. Anyhow, next class would be our last class in this Dharma Shastra, Purana, Itihasa. All of them would be covered in a single class. And after that, if you are interested, maybe Jaikumar Mahodaya can come again and discuss about Advaita, or next class would be the last one. So you people decide and let me know so that I can request him. Samapayamaha. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om.